So if you own any AI stocks, Micron, SK Hynix, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, you name it, insert stock name here. This is a massive week for you. I'm going to outline in this video everything that's coming this week that can and will potentially positively and potentially negatively impact all of your stocks, as well as we're going to talk about who's on deck to have announcements this week, earning announcements. And oh, by the way, it's Microsoft, Amazon, Meta. Google did it last week. This is a big week, kind of a spooky week. We're going to talk about everything. I'm also going to share with you how you can make up to 23% interest on any gold you have, maybe any crypto you have. I'm going to share that with you as well. So that's a pretty cool thing, and how I'm making some money off my stuff, and I'll share that with you. Okay. So like I said, we're going to talk about what's going on. So Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon earnings. Look at this title: could crush the S&P 500. What does that mean to you? Like, Austin, I don't know Microsoft, Meta, or Amazon, but hey, they are hyperscalers. And last week, Google announced their earnings and their stock went down 9% because of only one thing, because they beat numbers, all that kind of stuff. It was the fact that they said that they were going to raise their capital expenditures from 180 billion to 190 billion. That was the original range, to 195 to 205 billion. And they said that there would be a, quote, significant increase seen for 2027, and that spooked everybody. And what we're talking about is the fact that since Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon are on tap to all announce this week, it's going to scare the heck out of everybody. And you know, they're going to come out and talk about raising capital expenditures. So that's a big thing that you need to be aware of. And that's part of the story that we're talking about, what's on tap for this week. Okay. So in the middle, Wednesday, you see right here on Wednesday, we get Microsoft earnings, we get Meta earnings. On Thursday, we get Amazon earnings over here on the right on Thursday. So those are the earnings that you need to be aware of and keep in mind. And I will be taking care of it for you and looking at it for you. So if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button to the channel, because I'll be talking about all of this as we get into this later this week. Okay, but today and tomorrow, we got the trade war risk. U.S. tariffs are now more taking effect. So now we have to worry about the retaliation from Eastern Europe. We have to worry about China's potential retaliation, and we have to see what the markets are going to do. Right now, the markets are not doing overly bad. We've got a mixed bag. Let me refresh this just to get the latest here at the very top. Come on. The Dow's up 112. NASDAQ's down 137. The futures this morning, the Dow 30 futures were up like 500. And NASDAQ was up 300 in the futures. And that obviously turned dramatically as we got into the open trading market. Okay. So today, tomorrow, tariffs. But tomorrow, it's going to be the fear, the concern around Microsoft earnings, Meta earnings. Probably going to be a wobbly, shaky market tomorrow, a little volatility, because everybody's going to be looking at, okay, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? But here's the thing, guys. Because Google came out and said, we are raising CapEx expenditures dramatically, you got to believe the market is now expecting that from Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon. Okay. Essentially what I'm saying, maybe is it already built in? And by the way, Micron didn't take a hit when Google announced those earnings. In fact, that was the day that the NASDAQ was down like 500, 600, 700 points. And Micron was, I think, flat, or maybe a little down like 4 or 5%, but it wasn't dramatic. Okay. And in fact, on that day when Google made their announcement and their earnings, really all the major AI stocks weren't down. And here's why. CapEx expenditures are going to the Microns, AMDs, NVIDIAs, Intels, SK Hynix, Bloom Energy, Corning, all of that. That's who's getting these monies. It's just a matter that the market is overreacting to these CapEx expenditures. That's my opinion. Okay. Biggest day of the week is Thursday. All right. We've got GDP, core PC inflation, consumer spending, Bank of Japan. All right. We're going to talk about the Bank of Japan because that's a biggie that nobody's really talking about. All right. At the top of the video, real quick, let me shift for you. I shared with you how I'm making some interest on my money. So I've transferred some crypto in. If you don't have crypto, stay with me. If you do, you might think about this. But if you have gold, this is something you might look at. At about 40,000, I moved into Coin Depot. And I'm getting paid up to 23% interest on that. You see right here, these are my stable coins. And so it's a 17 to 23% interest on that. And on my crypto, I moved some Bitcoin, about 14,000, 10,000 of XRP, 3,000 of Ethereum. And you can see interest paid right here, 12, 8, $13. Okay. So this service It's called Coin Depot. There's a link in the description below, and I'll also link out in the pinned comment. This is an example of what you could earn. So let's say you wanted to move in gold assets. You can get 23% on gold, and you moved in $10,000 worth of gold. You would make $2,300 on that. That's it. Are you making an interest? Are you making any interest on your gold or your crypto or your stable coins? If you're not, this is the way you can do it. And look at this. If you had 100,000 of gold, just for discussion's sake, $23,000. Not bad for a year if you're sitting on it and waiting for it to appreciate in value. If you have any crypto, which you probably do because a lot of my audience here on the stock channel is also my crypto audience, then you might ought to think about transferring as well, because stable coins, you can still earn 23%. And on crypto, you can earn up to 18%. So if you moved in 100,000 of crypto, boom, you'd get 18,000. That's money you're not making right now. If it's sitting in a wallet or sitting in an exchange, you're not getting any type of interest, you might ought to think about it. Links in the description below. Again, proof that I am doing it. I've moved 40,000 of my crypto, stable coin and crypto in, and you can see right here proof that I'm doing it. Okay. So lastly, I'll leave you with this. The very top here, you can see on Coin Depot, 113,000 users, $240+ million asset under management. That's how much is on the platform. So there's a lot here, and over 5 years of operating. All right. So just give it some thought. Links are down there. If that's interesting to you, then take advantage of that. Okay. So back to what we were talking about. The Bank of Japan is probably one of the biggest factors that we've got to be worried about coming this week. Yes, we're going to get core PCE. That's big. Is it rising or not? And the impact of that is going to have on the Fed. Now, we get the Fed decision on Wednesday. This is going to be kind of Kevin Wersch's first real trial by fire, all that, the new chairman. Are we going to get hawkish versus dovish? I think we're going to get very hawkish, bearish, okay? Because we've got inflation, although some of the numbers from the PCI reports and CPI reports have been actually better than expected. It's this really weird mixed bag as far as that. But also part of this is the Bank of Japan. The fear around Bank of Japan is, are they going to raise their rate? And that's the spooky part of this. And if that does happen, we could get a carry trade unwind. We do not want that. All right. We got a lot of stuff impacting crypto, stocks, bonds, gold, all that this week. And remember, at the top of it, as far as us as AI stockholders, we've got what? Microsoft, Meta, Amazon earnings on tap. This is a crazy day. Thursday's insane. 7 major catalysts in one day on Thursday. Wednesday, not much better. Earnings from Microsoft, Meta, Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Monday, Tuesday, trade war. It's almost like, hey, let's go back to bed and kind of just wait and get past this week, right? That's kind of what's crazy here. And I'll be watching it here for you guys. So I just want to tell you what's going on. This is what's playing out. Thanks for giving me a few minutes. I appreciate you. And by the way, remember, if you're interested, click that link below to go check out Coin Depot. When you do click that link below, it's going to give you a little pop-up. It's going to basically put your email in. That's how you create your account, and you're off and running. Proof that I'm using it right here. And by the way, when I transfer this money in, I started getting interest immediately, literally immediately. And that's cool. So up to 23% on gold and stable coins, and up to 18% on any crypto you might have sitting around that you're not making anything off of anyway. All right. Thanks. I'll see you. Links down there, and have a good one.